Hey everybody, it's Brian with Athlete Up Fitness. It's getting warmer out here in Wisconsin, and I wanted to jump on here and make a little video, tell you guys a few tips and tricks that you can easily do when you're shopping for your next running shoes. One of the first things that I have people do when they're looking at shoes is look at how wide they are. You can see these shoes are pretty different with how wide they are. I have here the Ultra Touring 2.0 and the Innovate F-Lite 235. I run more long distance in the ultras, and I do any kind of cross training or CrossFit in the Innovates, so I have to be able to run, lift, kind of a good all-purpose shoe. But a couple things that you can look for when you're shopping for shoes. One of the first things I like to do is have people take the insole out of their shoe so they can see and make sure that the insole actually captures their whole foot. So if I take the insole out of a shoe and put my foot on it, I want to make sure that my foot isn't coming over that insole. If it's coming over that insole, then it just means that that shoe is going to probably be pretty tight in the forefoot, and you're going to have some squeezing in the forefoot and potentially lead to some problems with that. So the Ultras are pretty classically a good wide toe box shoe. So they usually, you can see they have a pretty good anatomical fit. They're not too narrow in the toe box. The pair of Innovates that I have, those two are pretty good. They have a pretty wide toed shoe, which I like. It's just good for my feet. And if I pull the insole out of that one, you can see that this insole, again, captures most of my foot. My toes aren't falling off of that insole. All right, another thing that I like to look for, obviously if you look at this Ultra, it's got quite a bit of padding on the bottom, but it's still very light. So when I get tired, it's not like I'm carrying a cement block on my foot, but at the same time, when I look at this, we do a little bit of what's called like a twist test. There's still pretty good durability in this shoe. That means there's not going to be a lot of torsion through my foot. The shoe will be able to take up some of that impact as we get tired, as we put more miles on. If you compare this to my Innovate, it's quite a bit more flexible, but that's what I need in order to do some of the lifting, jumping, rope climbs, anything like that, to get a good feel for the ground with a cross training shoe. Now, a couple things that I tell people too when they're looking at shoes or selecting their shoe, not even so much about selecting a single shoe in particular, but one of the best things that I've had success with for clients is just telling them to have a shoe rotation. Kind of like what I tell, or like what I'm doing with this, is I use my Innovates when I'm doing some shorter runs or cross training, but then on longer runs, I'm using the Ultras. All it's going to do is kind of mitigate some of that stress that goes through my foot by having a different shoe that places the stress in different areas. As always, if you have any questions, you should definitely see a qualified professional. Let me know if there's any questions. I'm happy to help. Otherwise, it's going to be nice and warm out this weekend. Get out and take a run.